What is the average monthly retirement income? I will get to that in a couple minutes, but let me give you some stats first. But guys, leave me a comment if you don't mind revealing this. What kind of income are you living on in retirement? Oh, of course, start the video. Here comes the wind. Hopefully it's not too bad. What kind of income are you living on in retirement? Let me know. My monthly expenses are $2,800 a month. Okay? For me, that works. It's totally different for everyone, though. So let me know what yours is. Here's a couple stats, and then I'll give you the magic number. Actually, it's numbers. Number one, sources of retirement income include Social Security, retirement accounts, pensions, employment wages, and rental income, among others. Those are the main ones, though. I'm getting all this from U.S. News and World Report. Retirees can expect to spend about 80% of their pre-retirement income in retirement. Now, I've heard stats all the way from 65% up to like 90%. So you make your own judgment on that. Can you see the ocean back there in the background? Awesome. Little sliver of silver back there above downtown LA. I think I'm around 70, maybe in between 65% and 70 of what I used to spend when I worked. So I'm kind of on the lower end, but it totally varies. Totally varies depending on your lifestyle. And that's something you determine, most people, before they retire. What's your lifestyle going to be when you retire? Is it going to be similar to what it was when you were working? Is it going to be drastically less? Is it going to be more? Some people, man, they get to retirement and they just splurge. They're like, woo! We're taking 5 vacations a year, man. Bali, Barbados, Russia. Maybe not. They go crazy. Hey, if you guys are seeing me for the first time, my name is Duane, and this is a retirement channel for people on moderate income and how to optimize. So I did that with my feet going up in the air, kind of to emphasize that. Optimize retirement income, moderate. If you think you like that, think about subscribing and like the video as well. And if you really like it, down below, you can either buy me a coffee or you can buy my new book, The Monster Who Loves Me, about a serial killer who falls in love. So U.S. News says 80% of pre-retirement income. Like I said, I'm a little below 70. Totally depends. Social Security represents almost 1/3 of the income for people 65 years and older. I would have thought that would have been a little bit higher. I mean, when I retire, I don't think my monthly expenses are going to go up too much. And the older you get, they usually go down, right? So I don't know if it's going to be 1/3. I mean, I think my Social Security will be, depending on when I take it, maybe $2,200, $2,300, maybe $2,400 if I want to wait till after 65 a month. So 1/3, okay, that's what they say. Now, what defines a good retirement income? Number one, most retirees have a budget in retirement that is similar to what it was when they were working. You know, I mean, you think about it. A lot of people don't want to have a lower standard of living when they retire, right? As opposed to when they were working, okay? Even though they might spend less, 80% according to these guys, they want it to be similar. So they are budgeting similar to what they were when they were working. What's the second point of what defines a good retirement income? It's going to vary greatly on where you are in the country. If you're living here, LA, which I couldn't afford comfortably on my 500,000 plus retirement, it's going to be expensive. If you move where I did in the high desert, which is an hour plus east of here, you can cut that, I wouldn't say in half, you could cut it by 1/3 easily. So it really varies on where you plan on retiring. And the third point of that, newly retired people, which I just said a couple minutes ago, spend more than when they are older. You just retired. You know, you want You want to, in the first couple of years, do all that stuff you were waiting on retiring to do. Travel. Maybe get a vacation house. Who knows? But, as I've said in videos before, you've got the go-go years, which is right after you retire till about mid-70s. Slow-go years, 75 to early 80s. And the no-go years, early 80s up. As you get older, the less and less you spend, right? So, makes sense. Early retirees, you're spending a lot. So, here we go. So, they've actually broken it down in 7 categories. 15% of all retirees, and this is 8 categories. 15% of all retirees spend less than $1,000 a month. Okay, where you living, man? Where you living? Rural Mississippi? I couldn't touch that. How could you get it? Okay, yes, I'm changing my hands again. I know I look stupid when I'm doing it. I couldn't even touch that. Less than 1,000. 33% spend between $1,000 and $2,000 a month in retirement. 20% spend between $2,000 and $3,000 a month in retirement. That's me. I'm $2,800. I mean, they're saying income, spend, pretty much the same thing. 13% of retirees spend between $3,000 and $4,000 a month. 8% spend between $4,000 and $5,000 a month. That is their retirement income. 5% spend between $5,000 and $6,000 a month. 2% spend between $6,000 and $7,000 a month. And those Big Daddy war bucks, 3% spend $7,000 or more a month. Now that 3% is what is dragging up, or pulling up, I guess you'd say, this average. So the average U.S. household, led by someone 65 and over, spends an average of $64,000 a year, which comes out to $5,300 per month on average. But again, those big spenders are pulling that up. It's a lot of money, if you ask me. But again, I'm just single. Okay, I'm a single man. Even though I'm almost married, I'm pretty much married without the paper. I live where I live for 2 weeks. I come down here for 2 weeks in LA to see my girlfriend. Here's another stat on this whole thing. Nearly 90% of people... Oh, the little doggy. He's hearing the sirens. Okay, that's not a little doggy, man. That sounds like... Cujo? Nearly 90% of people 65 and over get Social Security. Sounds about right? Even if you're Mr. Big Daddy Warbucks, you're probably still going to be getting your Social Security check. It might be like 1% of your whole thing, but you get it. Average monthly benefit for Social Security in 2024 was $1,975. Okay, so I'm going to be a little bit above average. That's about right. I mean, I never made more than $75,000 a year. And I made that for 2 or 3 years. In the last 10 years of my working life, my salary went down because of ageism. I got laid off in 2010. I was making $75,000 a year. My next job, I think, was about 68, 65, something like that. Next job, 63. And the last job I had before I retired was about 61 or 62, I think. Yeah, I never made more than $75,000 a year. So that average monthly Social Security benefit of $1,975 in 2024 comes out to about $23,700 a year in Social Security is the average amount people get. So as you can see, guys, the average income varies greatly. Do not look at that average of $64,000 a year. That is pulled way up by those Big Daddy Warbucks, baby. Those categories I gave you, and the biggest category was 33% spend, or their retirement income is between $1,000 and $2,000 a month. Now that seems pretty low to me, but that is the biggest category, 33% of all people. So there you go, guys. I think they found me. I got to get out of here quick, okay? Above LA. We got this.